What is up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Lou Streets back with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about some malarkey that is going on in the FGC. Now, before we get started, don't ask me why I have on a cowboy hat. I just have one and I felt like wearing it, right? But let's go ahead and check out what is going on, because I've been seeing this all up and down my timeline and I kind of want to follow it even though I don't know all the people in it. So let's check it out. Okay, so it was hard to follow this because it was a lot of tweets going around, and I bookmarked them because I'm not really familiar with a lot of the people involved, and I'm not really concerned about the people involved. I'm more concerned about the mentality behind it, right? But I think it started off with Paragon FGC welcomed FemShep to be a sponsored player for them, a sponsored player or content creator. I'm not fully sure. Here it is: catcher offline and online, competing and creating content, right? Now, I'm not really like familiar with her, but congratulations to her. That's awesome. She got a sponsorship. You know, a lot of people will love that. But for some reason, this like triggered a ton of discourse, and I wanted to speak to that because for one, I'm shocked that this went this crazy. And then like the reason it was out of hand because I'm not really that familiar with these people because I only play so much Street Fighter 6. So the fact that it even got to my timeline kind of explains how big of a deal this was to everyone, right? But congratulations again to FemShep for the Paragon sponsorship. But let's get into like some of these tweets and what was going on. Then I want to give my opinion after reading through some of it because I bookmarked a whole bunch of stuff that was going up and down the timeline. So let's continue on with some more tweets and some reaction. We have King Raichu here, who retweeted Shep's sponsorship announcement and says, "Fuck anyone who is out here hating on someone else's success. Die mad, let's go Shep." And then Shep ends up making another tweet after the announcement that says, "Let me just say right now to get ahead of it that if any of this ends up on button check," and she starred out his letter, so she didn't want him to find this in search for some reason, but let me just say right now to get ahead of it that if any of this ends up on button check, I very explicitly did not consent to that and do not want to engage with it. Go back to casually monetizing videos about violent crime and leave me alone." I don't really know like what she's referring to, but clearly she doesn't have like the fondest view of button check. Maybe they have some type of history that I'm not aware of. As I said, a lot of the people that are playing roles in these tweets, I'm not familiar with them. I'm just, I want to talk about the ideology of what's going on and the reaction up and down my timeline. So let's look for some more tweets that I bookmarked. Okay, so like I said, I bookmarked a lot of tweets because this was all up and down my timeline, and I want to kind of read through some of them to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. So let's see. The first one here is from Saki Sakura. She said, "Instead of just tweeting women belong in the FGC, support us with action, follow our channels, support our videos, support us in tournament, uplift us to be seen for opportunities. Just tweeting a blanket statement is letting the Nazis and bigots run this community. Don't let them." Here is the bookmark tweet from Shep that I mentioned earlier about button checks. We have that. Let me see what else was on here. Okay, here's some more. So we have a VTuber that says, "Trying to wrap my head around the women in the FGC discourse, but it really just boils down to sexist scrubs crying because they've been threatened by women. Every pro player I've interacted with has been more than happy to welcome new players regardless of gender and identity." Okay, then we have Adele right here, or we got the homie Big Bird actually. So the current discourse is a player who's a woman that has nothing to do with anyone, got sponsored by a company that's also got nothing to do with anyone, and some are upset, get off the internet and lift weights, touch grass or something. Hey, I love that, because as somebody who actually lifts weights, I understand the joke that he's trying to tell. Shep shows some love to Big Bird, who says that he was very welcoming in regards to her being in the gaming scene. And then we have another tweet right here from is it Blue Rose Tori? I'm hoping I'm not mispronouncing that, but she says women belong in the FGC. And then Amy Lionheart, is this a woman? I think, oh yeah, she's a woman, okay. She says, "Can folks just stop virtue signaling? I understand that guys can be harsh, but that's what comes with the territory. Y'all really think women can get a pass just because they're women? I can name so many dudes who get ripped on the same, if not worse. Sincerely, a woman in the FGC." And I'll address what she's saying later. I just wanted to kind of see some of the reaction because as I said, this was going both directions. You had some women kind of tweeting in defense of themselves. You had some women tweeting against them. You had some guys sharing their points of view. So I wanted to just go ahead and cover all this. So remember the tweet that I said earlier from Saki about instead of just tweeting women belonging to the FGC, support us with action. So we have Mujin Lord right here. He says, it's called equality. Hold on, let me open this up so we can see more of this. He said, it's called equality. If your content is good, your performance and matches speak for themselves. Then you will earn the following support in order to be seen. Then you have to perform. There's a reason why Daigo, Punk, Smug, Justin Wong, Mike Ross, Combo Fiends, and many other recognized within are recognized within the FGC. They left a mark within the FGC, whether it's content creation or competing. Hell, even Ernest Lopez Jr., that's button check for you guys who don't know, is recognized from the corners of the FGC because he provides something of value. No one is going to support you simply because you are a woman in the space. Go make shockwaves within the space like every other male player in the FGC. And you will get the support that you want. His take is very direct and straightforward, but I agree with the healthy amount of that. But I'll get to that on the back end because it's two sides to this, and I want to make sure that I touch on both. But what he's saying isn't really unfair. He's pretty much just saying, he's pretty much going down to the individual, saying that, hey, if you're dope at what you do, people are gonna fuck with you regardless of your like gender. That's what he's pretty much saying. Let me see how many other tweets I got on here, because it was a lot, bro. It was a lot. Let me make sure I'm not scrolling too fast. Okay, I believe. Okay, so this is this one. So now we're back on track right here. So the next tweet is. It is Real Ken Willis. He says, I feel like I'm risking my career in the FGC by saying this, but as an org scout, I don't care about a player's race or gender. I only care about if said player is skilled and can be a good addition to our roster. Why is this even considered a controversial take? I think he's kind of saying the same thing that Mujin Lord is saying. I think that's the point of view that he's trying to represent. He's essentially saying, if you're good at what you do, I want to add you to the roster. Nothing else even fucking matters. You know what I'm saying? So let me keep going because there's a lot more tweets. We have DSW Bronson right here. In the FGC and esports, people use the term bigotry when someone with Christian beliefs disagrees with the opinions of others. These people create labels and terms to criticize those that they don't agree with, and unfortunately, those who are more easily influenced tend to fall for it. I do see that in the FGC. Now, I'm not talking about his like Christian stuff because anybody can believe in what they want to. I'm not gonna like waste time saying like how I was raised or like how you were raised or da. But people do have a habit of trying to demonize people who have different opinions than theirs. Where it's a situation where it don't even gotta be like an attack, but they'll start putting out those labels to kind of undermine you, you know what I'm saying? So let's keep on going here. We have NYC Furby, and he's responding to a screenshot by Shep. So let me see if I can just summarize what she says in the screenshot quickly. If you don't want the FGC to look like this, you have to condemn it. It's just a difference of opinion regarding openly bigoted targeted harassment tells me that you think my entry fee should be more than $15. It should be enduring relentless abuse. And don't you dare tell me they aren't Nazis when they're fans of Nick Fuentes. They're posting Holocaust denial memes, and there are genocide jokes in my mention. Not a difference of opinion. If you sit with them, you're one of them. I'm speaking up because I want others to know that they don't have to be afraid. They don't have to apologize for who they are, whether that's female, queer, disabled, Jewish, whatever. But I'm not enjoying this. I am angry and I'm tired. I just want to play video games. Okay, and let me see what the homie said, what the homie Furby said. Not the homie because I don't know who this is, but you know, slang. He says, this victim mentality has gone way too far. Try all you want, FemShep, FGC. You all know for a fact that none of us are harassing you or threatening you. You're playing victim mentality when you're a sponsored player and we're just calling you out as we see it. We've never interacted and you just preemptively blocked all of us. Yeah, you're right. All we want to do is play video games, but you keep crying online. You won't even run the set, too busy crying about how much you're victimized. This is all so silly. This story writes itself, and if you're missing out on chances for great content as usual. Dissident FGCW, FemShep L. So it's something going on between them. I don't really know what event they're referring to. I thought this was more about her sponsorship. Let's get back into the rest of these tweets before I give my opinion on some of this stuff. Some of the women in the FGC are yelling about others supporting them, but outside of their usual cliques, they don't support one another. And this is from a woman, Professor High Kick. Her ad is Tanisha Jane. So it's kind of that thing I was saying earlier about. It's kind of split down the middle where like some women are saying that you guys are kind of full of shit. Some women are saying we need to be protected in the FGC. But Professor High Kick here is saying that outside of your cliques, you guys don't support each other yourselves. So what are you talking about? Let's keep it going. It's pretty obvious the FGC has a problem with women when there's discourse about skill level, when a woman gets sponsored, but nobody said shit when I got sponsored and had my travel comped after making it out of pools a grand total of 0 times. This is John Nitty FGC. It's got like a nice amount of responses, but I'm just gonna just keep rolling with that. I guess he's trying to say like essentially people are trying to like discredit FemShep for her skill level, and they never question a guy for his. But that's not even totally true. Cause like, I mean, we get questioned for our shit all the time as far as like content creators and shit. But let's keep going because I don't want to make it seem like I'm picking the side of like what I think. I just want to kind of respond to like all of these tweets once we get through them. Professor High Kick again. There are way more unproblematic women in the FGC than the few loud ones you see on Twitter. They're either playing, competing, putting out content, etc. Y'all should start focusing on them instead. I agree with her about that. Let's see. We have Saki Sakura, somebody else responded to her tweet, and this is from Danny, another woman. So remember the tweet that Saki made about, instead of just tweeting about women belonging to FGC, support us with action, we have Danny here who says, hell, women need to do better with other women within your community. Nobody seems to want to tackle that. That's the same thing that Professor High Kick is saying. And then the homie Trey Arts responded to Danny's tweet by saying, when they all sat in silence when that tortilla-chested woman, okay, he's sending insults. I don't want to mention that part, even though you can see it right here. When they all sat in silence and sent insults with what they did to Strife. I don't know what he's referring to. While she was grieving the loss of her mother, I'll never speak to them again. They pick and choose. So he's kind of supporting what Danny was saying about they pick and choose when they want to show love. But apparently something happened to a player named Strife, and a lot of shit got fucked up in regards to like how she was treated supposedly, and she lost her mother in the process. So like, it was kind of a fucked up thing that went down. I don't really like know too much about that. As I said, with everybody speaking on this stuff, I barely know any of them. The only one I even know is Trey Arts, and that's because I commissioned him for some artwork. And then we got this last tweet right here. Okay, this tweet is for another video, so I'm not going to mention this. This tweet by James MK, this is for another video. Okay, so we pretty much got through all the tweets, and I want to kind of drop my insight on this because, as I said, this was taking over the timeline, and I didn't even bookmark all the tweets that I seen, just a couple. But let's speak to what they're talking about in regards to women in the FGC. Okay, so of all the tweets I've seen on here, the one I would say I agree with the most is Mugen Lord, and that's because he talked about equality and saying if your content is good, you'll stand out, right? And so I will admit, there is a weird problem with women in the FGC in regards to like some guys. But I also think that this problem isn't unique to women. I just think it's the internet in general, right? Because like a lot of times, like when I give my Mortal Kombat takes or stuff like that, and I mean, I have thick skin, I'm an older male, so like I'm just used to kind of like coming from that era where like we fight and we talk shit and etc. But what you have is that when people can hide behind a screen anonymously, they tend to say like a bunch of shit that they really would never say to somebody in real life. And I know it happens to me, so I'm certain that it happens to women. And I think that I've actually seen some women make some really hilarious content out of it, as far as like basically taking, you ever heard the saying when you got, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? I've seen like a lot of women creators do that, but I think all good creators do that in general, because the truth is, you can sit and cry about how people are treating you online, but the reality is like, it's just a lot of miserable people online. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I make my content or like I share my opinions, that content tends to go the farthest, but that's because whenever something has like reach, there's a negative element and a positive element. So I could say something that somebody doesn't agree with. Hell, that might even be in this video, right? And so what happens is when things kind of get out there, you know, people have their opinions and their responses, and you're always going to get the most vile responses from angry people who hide behind screens. And 9 times out of 10, that is some guy. But what I think is whack about this whole women in the FGC discourse is like, if I'm a woman creator, and people are like attacking me, but these are like, you know, fake PFPs, the angry anime shit, you gotta just kind of rub that shit off your shoulder, because that's the game that you stepped into, right? I mean, like, even me, like, sometimes if you catch me on the right day, I'll respond to like a fake PFP saying some nonsense, but you guys have seen my tweets where I said like, I don't have any respect for a fake PFP with an aggressive opinion. And I think that the women should take that same stance. Now, I will say that if you're a woman in the FGC and you're dealing with somebody who has an identity, like that has a face that's out there, and like they're doing some fucked up shit to you, you should 100% bring that shit to the forefront, because like those people got to be checked. But you got to accept the fact that at the same time, some people are just cowards and they just want a reaction out of you. Sometimes it don't even necessarily be about you being a woman. They just want a reaction. You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes to FemShep getting that sponsorship, I don't even know who that player is, but if I saw that, that wouldn't affect, like, it doesn't affect me in any way. You know what I'm saying? And so what you got to think about is a lot of the times when you get these opinions from these people or like these responses, they just want a reaction and they're miserable people. Like that would be the equivalent of every time somebody says something fucked up to me, I start saying, well, you guys love attacking black creators. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm a black guy. And a lot of times like people will show love and be like, yo, I love the fact that it's a black creator that plays Tekken, that plays Mortal Kombat and plays all these games and is very articulate on the microphone. You know, I love that, bro. But if I said that every time somebody attacked me, it's because I'm black, at that point, I'm kind of virtue signaling. And I'm not saying that that's like what the women are doing, but what I am saying is like, you in a public area, bro, like you can't really come to a public space and say how things should be because you're gonna just drive yourself fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, at times, don't get it twisted. I get tired of people hating and doing corny shit, but you online, bro, you got an opinion, and like you got an opinion on things, you gotta perform, you're gaming, you're giving your opinion on the games that you play. People are gonna challenge that. And I think that like, it's not useful to say that every time that you give an opinion, every time somebody attacks you, it's because you're a woman. And even if that is true, hey, those weirdos are gonna just be weirdos who hate women. Like if it's some dude that's sitting in his mom's basement that's running a fake PFP account profile and he hates women because he doesn't have a girlfriend, don't got no money, not having sex, hey, that just comes with it. Like his life is too miserable. You gotta think about it. His life is miserable. So it's not even a matter of I'm a woman and they're attacking me. They're just miserable people. And like miserable people attack everybody. They're not just attacking you just because you're a woman. Some of them are, but it's like they're just attacking everybody because they want a reaction because they're miserable and they're bitter. Where on the flip side, it's a bunch of dope women creators out there. Like I know a ton of them. Like I've had a bunch of them on the channel. I'll reach out to collabs for some. Like those are the people that do dope shit and stand out, and even they get hated on. My favorite Tekken creator by far is Mrs. Play Stuff. I think she's absolutely fucking hilarious. And the funny thing about it is she's better than me at Tekken, right? So on top of her being funny and being good, you know, she has the accent, which I'm sure plays a role because people love her accent, but she's legitimately good at the game. I'm in Tekken King. She's made God with multiple characters. So she gets hated on too, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure she gets hated on because she's a woman, but she also gets hated on because of the fact that she's just good at the game and that makes some guys upset. But like, it just comes with it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, she still makes great content. If we went to my Combat Queen series that I made on Mortal Kombat, I had like, what, 18 women on there? Those women were dope creators. Matter of fact, I can go show it to you right now. Let's go check it out. I remember one of my proudest moments in the FGC is when I made the MK11 Combat Queen series, and we had Vanity on twice, we had Miss Lee on, we had Katanya on, had Subby Sub, she beat me in the set with Shang Tsung. We had Paola the Chemist on, who's an international player down in Mexico, Gabby, Lovely STL, which was dope because if I'm not mistaken, I think Lovely is from St. Louis and that's where I'm from, so it was dope to have her on. We had FGC Shauna, who plays over in Ireland. Lady Valentine was on. We had a bunch of people. We had Losty on. I had Baylina on. I had Molly on. Like I had a bunch of dope ass people on. So it's like, it's dope creators that's out here, you know what I'm saying? But the reality is at the same time, it's just a bunch of weird ass dudes that's gonna hate. But that doesn't excuse the fact that when you see some of those tweets, like what the girl was saying, what was her name? Danny again? Like what she was saying? I don't know, where do I have her bookmark? Like what she was saying, there is also some weird ass chicks who do weird stuff in the community. So it's like, I think what happens a lot of times is that you got this dope ass group of players over here who like do their thing, like do what they do, and they like make positive content, great content, funny content, entertaining content, like Misplay Stuff. Like as I said, Misplay Stuff is my favorite Tekken creator by far. But then you do got some chicks in the scene who do a bunch of weird ass shit, and when they get caught out for it, they try to use the blanket of womanhood to kind of excuse their behavior. And so it's like, the reality is you can't really police people, and the only way to really stand out is just doing what you do and like representing what you represent and just rolling with it. And you gotta accept the fact that everybody don't fuck with that. Cause like I said, if I was to hop on every time somebody attacked me and said, well, oh, you guys are attacking me because I'm black, but then I'm out here doing bullshit and saying wild shit and doing racist shit, that would make me look crazy. And what you have is some women's whole brand is just attacking men and attacking men and attacking men. And then when like they get called out for it, they just run back to womanhood. And so what happens is you got those group of women over here doing that. And then the women who don't do that type of shit, who just mind their business, they get swept into it by like those angry incel cats with the fake PFPs who just want to attack women in general. So I think overall it's like, the truth is, I don't Do I think there's a problem with women in the FGC? I don't think so. I mean, it's easier for me to say because I'm a guy, but I think it's just a double-edged sword. It's like one of those things where you could say there's a racist problem in the FGC. You could say there's a sexist problem in the FGC. You could like make up a problem for anything, because the reality is we're all playing video games and we all don't agree with everything that everybody is doing. Like, it's certain things that people do that I don't agree with in the FGC, but it's not my place to really speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it don't affect me, I don't really give a fuck. Like, because you don't have a choice. Like, the reality is some of your favorite people could say some shit that you're not really into, and you got to accept the fact that they human, and like, that's just what they on. You don't got to really get into like the whole personality Olympics of, oh, is this person a good person? Is that person a bad person? This person is a racist. This person's sexist, da 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 da. Like, everybody has some hypocritical, contradicting view. And that's kind of my point. Like, when it comes to those, you got these extremists like within the FGC who like attack women because they're women, but then you also got these other extremists who just support everything women say just because they women. So like, there's no accountability in the middle on both sides. You know what I'm saying? The reality is, whoever you like Mugen said, if you like them, support them. Like, as I said, my favorite Tekken 8 creator by far is Mrs. Play Stuff. I reached out to her for collab because she's good at the game, and on top of that, she's funny. And a lot of you guys know my commentary and my humor is a large part of my play style. Even though I'm actually good at the games I play, I like to do and say funny shit. And like, even when it comes to Miss Play Stuff, her shtick is so funny because like I was watching her stream. Actually, that's her stream on my TV right now. I was watching that before I started this video. That's Miss Play Stuff on the TV right now. I just got the volume down. But whenever she plays like against a female character, she'll be like, get me a real player here. I need a man to play against. Like, but she's being sarcastic, right? But it's people who attack her for being a woman, and she just flip it on them. She makes scrub quote videos, and those shits are hilarious. I remember she made a video not too long ago where somebody told her, you're a good Tekken player, but a bad female. And she used that for content. So she could kind of go into the whole thing about, oh, you know, I'm upset because like how guys treat me in the scene. Or she's just a great creator who's gonna flip it anyway. No different than if you're a creator who gets attacked for whatever you do, flip it on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the reality is this whole idea of like wanting participation trophies. You make content, so since I make content and I have this particular personality identity to shield me, I should be just not subject to any criticism. No, bro, everybody gets criticized. It's part of it, dog. Like, you gotta think, if you online and you got tens of thousands, 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 30,000, 50,000 followers over here on TikTok, 10,000 over there, you know what I'm saying? People are gonna hate out of jealousy. It don't really got as much to do with you being a woman as it's they're just jealous. Like, you gotta think, if I'm some dude in my mama basement and I play the video game every day, I'm not making no money, I don't know what I wanna do with my life, I'm fairly solid at the game, but I don't know what I wanna do with my life, I'm not good on the microphone, I don't got my personality out there. Then I see FemShep get a sponsorship, it's very easy for me to get jealous, feeling like, well, I deserve that because I'm a better player than her. So the fuck what, you're a better player? We don't know who you are. That's kind of how I be feeling whenever I upload a video and people always try to challenge me in the comments. I don't need to accept your challenge. I have an audience because I put the work in. And I wish that when it comes to the whole women in the FGC discourse, I wish that like they would see like the power in that, or like the advantage in that. If you have an audience and you have a hater, that's a good thing. Now, I'm not saying you need to be subject to all types of sexist bullshit, you know, block them, mute them, whatever you got to do. But the reality is if you have an audience, it's gonna come with some hate. And 9 times out of 10, that hate could be it's based on jealousy. It's not necessarily that you're a woman. It's just based on jealousy. Now, they're gonna attack the easiest thing that they can see with you by attacking the fact that you are a woman, because that's their easy go-to. But like, when it comes to me, it's, oh, you're an old gamer, or you're a fucking scrub, or, you know, you're black, and you're like, people say these things. I get those racial comments, I get those hater comments. You just gotta flip it. So I think 2 things are true at the same time. I think we got a lot of weird incel cats angry in their mama basement saying sexist shit to the women in the FGC. But what do you expect? Like, what do you expect from them? They're losers. Like, they're miserable losers. You can't stop a loser from being a loser, so you can just ignore it. Now, if it's somebody with a face and a name and an identity that's out there, and they're doing something out of pocket that's making you feel unsafe, yeah, 100% report that to the community. Like, we got to put their ass on blast and hold them accountable. But if it's like some fake anime PFP saying some bullshit, what can you do? Like I think my biggest pet peeve is when you have guys like me who support the dope women in the FGC, like by doing features and collabs and stuff. And when some weird ass cat with a fake anime PFP says some wild shit, y'all just lump all the guys into the FGC. I think that's not fair, because you got people who really support what you're doing, but I'm not gonna support it just because you're a woman. I'm gonna support it because you're funny. Like, as I said, Misplay Stuff is my favorite tech and content creator, but it's because she got the trifecta. She got the accent, which is pretty smooth and hilarious to listen to. I mean, I'm from America. Some people could take that as racial, but I just think she has an entertaining accent and uses it well for her content. On top of that, she's better at the game than I am. She's a really good player. And then thirdly, she has an amazing sarcastic sense of humor because of how she flips things. And that's why I think she's like the dopest creator out. Like if I want to watch tech and content, I pretty much watch her. Now, if I want to learn a certain character, I might go to like Main Man Tweet or somebody like that. But when I want to watch just for entertainment, she's by far my #1 creator that I want to see. As a matter of fact, I think my ex-girlfriend got mad at me last year because like one day I watched like Lisa play. I watched Miss Play Stuff for like 45 minutes. And I think my girl kind of got on some weird shit like about, why are you watching this girl the whole time? Like, because she's funny. Yeah, but like, why are you watching? I don't understand why you're watching the girl. And it's like, I'm not watching her because she's a girl. I'm watching her because she's funny. She just happens to be a girl. So I think like people got to really take their advantages and their power and just use that for what it's meant to be, instead of like crying about some shit you can't control. Like I don't want to say coming into male spaces because I think that's corny too, that's sexist, but it's like any space that you go into, whatever are the goings-ons of how that place works, you got to like kind of abide by that. So it's like, if you're a creator, you got to deal with haters online. You can't get online and make haters stop being haters. Like, it's just not going to work. And if they see that they get under your skin, they're gonna keep going. So I think the best thing that like the women in the FGC can do, hold the women accountable who give y'all a bad reputation at times because of the bullshit that they do. And then secondly, like, just get a little bit tougher skin, bro. Like, you can't let these anime PFPs get to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and early on when I started, it's like, I get it. It's a survival instinct to kind of defend yourself from like negativity. So when I first started, it was like, man, I get tired of these niggas talking shit or like hating. But the reality is like, the bigger your channel grows, the more the people hate. You know what I'm saying? People are going to support you because of who you are. They're not going to support you because of like your identity politics. Like, nobody's going to support me because I'm black. Nobody's going to support me because I'm heterosexual. I mean, some people might, but that's not my selling points. I'm just good at the game and I'm good at talking my shit. And I think if a lot of people took that same approach, they would just be happier with making content within the space. But that's my 2 cents. I'm sure somebody will try to take what I said and spin it into some negativity. But as I said, that comes with the game. So it's like, I'm going to say this and then somebody's going to turn it into what they want it to mean and they're going to say some negative about it. But that's just what you signed up for as a content creator. Hope this video helps. Till the next time, me and my cowboy hat are gone. Peace, I am out. And also, if you guys want to watch tech and content, go check out Mrs. Play Stuff because she's funny as fuck. And hopefully me and her get that collab soon. Till next time, I'm going. It's your boy Lou Streets, I'm out. Peace.